Hey there YouTube, today I'm going to be going over my VFC SCAR airsoft gun. I'm going to be going over the basic features that it has, kind of from a rear to front perspective, and then I'm going to go over the accessories that I've added to it and why I have added those particular accessories to the gun. So let's just get right into it and start talking about the stock of the gun. The stock is foldable, length adjustable, and it has a cheek adjuster. Now, all of the controls for the stock are on the opposite side, so I will just flip the gun over here. Ugh. And as you can see over here, you've got the stock, or the cheek adjustment right here. You just depress this button, and you can adjust the height. There are 3 positions. There's the lowest one. My gun doesn't lock into the lowest position. I'm not sure if it's supposed to or not. I haven't actually had the chance to see another VFC SCAR in person. But it's actually fairly secure in that lower position, even though it doesn't lock in. So I can just pull it up to the 2nd position and then depress the button to raise it to the 3rd position. I keep it in the lowest position because usually I wear a lower face, like mesh mask, to protect my mouth and my teeth from getting hit by BBs and avoiding expensive dental work. And that mask adds some space between the stock and my cheek when I'm trying to get a cheek weld, so I actually keep this as low as possible. The next feature is the folding capability, which is you depress this black button at the bottom, which allows you to fold the stock. I'm going to do that with the gun oriented the other way, like it was originally here, just so that you can actually see it fold. So I'm going to push the button, and that allows me to fold the stock up, and it locks into the brass deflector. Obviously on the airsoft gun, it doesn't deflect any brass, but that's this piece right here. And on the real gun, that would also double as a brass deflector, just preventing the shells from coming straight back out of the gun. And they'll come back at a certain angle or straight out. So, like I said, this locks into position, like so. And it's also length adjustable. There's 6 positions. You can actually see them all labeled here, 1 through 6. I usually keep mine around the 4 or 5 position, just because it's comfortable for me. And I adjust it based on what gear I'm wearing. Adjustable stocks are great if you wear different sets of gear, different amounts of gear, because you can adjust it to the thickness of your gear. If you're wearing heavy winter clothing, you'll probably want this a little shorter so that you can still keep the overall length and kind of feel of the gun in your hands and proportion to your body the same. Whereas if you're wearing lighter gear, you can extend it like as much as you want. If I wore no gear and I was just wearing like a t-shirt, I'd probably have it at 3 or even 2, because I'm actually fairly tall and stuff. But when I'm wearing my tac vest or my CRAS vest, combat releasable integrated armor system, or integrated releasable armor system, whatever you want to call it, that vest is actually fairly bulky in the shoulders, so I keep it kind of collapsed a little more. The stock also contains the battery compartment for this particular gun. You push this pin out here, you just punch it out, and then you can pull it out from this side, like so. And then what you want to do is you want to kind of hold this pin up, because there's a little retaining pin that attaches to this main pin, and if you pull that retaining pin off by taking the butt plate off haphazardly, you will probably lose that little piece, and then this will not retain in and it won't stay in the gun. So be careful. If it feels like it's getting snagged on something when you go to take this off, just like fiddle with this pin and pull it out, different angles and stuff, and then eventually you'll be able to get that butt plate off, no problem. You can see inside there, I've got the battery wires in there. I have Dean's connectors for my gun installed. I like Dean's connectors. They're a lot easier to install the battery into the gun, and they also provide better electrical contacts. So I've actually also heard, just while we're talking about Dean's connectors, that they will actually improve the efficiency of your battery. You'll get a few more shots out of your battery than with regular Tamiya style clip connectors. So highly recommended to put Dean's connectors on your guns. And yeah, so you can just put your battery in here. I recommend using a LiPo or a stick type battery. If you use like a nunchuck or double stick battery, you'll have a hard time fitting them in there. It's a very, very small compartment. I actually broke one of my shorter stick batteries, or double stick nunchuck style is what it was. It was a nunchuck style battery, by putting it in there and not getting it out properly. So I fixed the battery because I know how to solder, but for those of you who don't know how to solder, that might not be good. To close the stock, you just push it up and it'll lock itself back into position and you're good to go. Now, I'll keep it on this side actually for now. Moving forward, the main gun features we have, you've got the official trademarks and everything here, FN Herstal Belgium, you've got a number, Mark 16 Mod 0, caliber 5.56mm, serial number. All that stuff is bogus, kind of, because, you know, it's an airsoft gun, it's not real. Below that, there's the ambidextrous selector switch. You see I just moved it to automatic there, and on the other side, I moved it from first to safe, or semi to safe. A grip, nothing special. This is the one it came with. I'd like to put a Magpul Moe style one on it, but there are some compatibility issues with that. Moving forward, trigger, nothing special about that. Trigger guard, nothing special. It's all integrated into the lower receiver. You got ambidextrous magazine release. Depress it here. Magazine will come out. And there is also the ambidextrous one on the other side. On here, I have my bolt, which allows me to pull the bolt back. The bolt catch is semi-functional on this rifle. I'm not sure if it's supposed to be entirely functional. This was a secondhand gun when I got it, so this might just be broken. But on mine, I can pull this bolt back, and then, hold on, you can pull the bolt catch away from the gun at the top here, like so, and it'll hold the bolt back, and if you let go, the bolt will return forward because it is spring released and all that. On the front of the gun, nothing super special. There's rails, I have covers on them. I have a cover on the top rail as well. These are just Magpul rail covers, ladder rail covers. They're really nice. They get rid of any of the jaggy edges on the rifle. If you want to take your rifle down completely, there's a few screws here that you actually need to take out, and you can take those screws out with the tool that they cleverly hid inside of the gas selector, or the gas adjuster. On the real gun, this is the gas block, and there's a gas adjustment tool here, and you can turn it from side to side, and that allows you to adjust how much gas goes into the gun, and adjusts your cycle rate, your fire rate. Well, not your fire rate, but it's just the gas pressure and all that kind of thing, which affects the fire rate. On here, there's a hop-up adjustment tool, and then if you just pull that off, you have the hex screw that is needed to take these pieces out. So that's kind of cool that they integrate that in there for you. And one thing to note, actually, is sometimes this will get a little bit wobbly, this gas block on the outer barrel. And if you guys can see, hopefully you can, there's a little hole right here underneath where this tool sits. The tool sits in just like that. And underneath that tool, there's a little hole with some threads. There's a little tiny Allen screw in there, and that is just a set screw that clamps onto the barrel itself. So if this ever gets loose, just tighten that up after taking this tool out, and you will be good to go. So let me just flip this over this way, and I'll show you the ambidextrous features over here. So there's, again, the selector switch, which I'll bring back from the other side, just to prove that it's ambidextrous. And then there's the magazine release. Excuse my awkward hands. I'm actually above the gun right now, so it's a little weird. So that's how that works. And then if you pull the bolt back, which I'm doing from the other side, which you can actually switch the bolt pin, or the bolt handle, charging handle, to either side, which I'll show you in a little bit. That just comes back like so. And you can adjust your hop up right inside here using the included tool. So hopefully you guys can see all that. Now, to go over the accessories I have on the gun, again, I'll just start from the back and go forward. The reason I'm starting from the back, by the way, is because it's right to left for me. Or actually, yeah, left to right, right to left, right to left. Yeah, so it just makes sense. Whatever. angles. So the rear sight is a Magpul M-Bus. The front sight is a Magpul M-Bus. They work very easily, and M-Bus stands for Magpul Backup Sight, by the way. You just push down on them, like so, and they pop up. And they are actually co-witnessed with this ACOG style red dot. It is just a clone of an ACOG. It's not a real ACOG, but I like it more than a real ACOG because it is a red dot, and you don't really need zoom optics, I find, when you're playing airsoft. In the real world, sure. In airsoft, not really. You're never going to be accurate enough, in my experience, to really, really need a magnified optic. Some of the higher end sniper rifles and designated marksman rifles with the really long barrels and the tight bore and all that, they may. If you're running a standard airsoft gun though, probably not. Speaking of which, I do actually have a 6.01mm inner barrel in here, so this thing is pretty damn accurate. But still, I don't find the need for a magnified optic, especially not at the fields I play at, indoor or outdoor. So what I mean, like I said earlier, the front and rear sights are co-witnessed with the red dot. That means when I look through the iron sights, I can see through the scope, so the scope isn't in the way, I don't need to take it off, and the red dot lines up perfectly with the iron sights. So everything is lined up, it's all good. If this dies, I can leave it on and I can just flip the sights up and keep looking through the optic and still get a good sight picture and shoot people on the enemy team. So those are the sights. Like I said earlier, I have the rail covers on. I have a Magpul angled foregrip down here on the bottom rail. And then I have the Magpul rail covers on the side rails and the top rail. And then there is the Surefire Scout M600C style flashlight. Again, I say style because it is a replica light. That is attached to a pressure switch, which runs through the angled foregrip here, and then right up to here, so I can push it, and you can see the light turning on over here. It's quite bright when you're actually looking at it, but cameras don't pick up light brightness very well. It's kind of hard to explain how well it is on a camera. So I just depress this with my thumb, which usually rests somewhere like so, and I can just depress it like that, and it's extremely easy and extremely comfortable for me. So that's that. The disassembly for this rifle is very easy, and I will cover that right now, I guess. You need to take the magazine out, like so, and then you want to push out this pin here. You can push it out from this side, and then you can simply flip the rifle over, like that, and then you can pull out the pin from this side here. Now what I like to do for this next part is pull the bolt back first, and then you just kind of pull the lower receiver out from the front and then take it away from the rear. So I'll show you that from the other side here, since that's where I have the bolt attached to. So you just pull this back, and then you can just pull away from the bottom here, and then out from the back. So it's as simple as that to get out. Your gearbox is all in here, your motor's in the pistol grip obviously, and then since this is a VFC gun, there are no wires running into the stock. It's all these little contacts which actually attach into the upper receiver portion here and then through to the stock. Taking the stock off is equally as simple. You just hold the upper receiver and then pull down on the stock here, like so. So that just slides right off, and you can see the trigger contacts here. Basically, those just attach together like so. So that's how that all comes off. Now the next part is entirely optional. You can just pull this recoil rod out. It's not a super important piece. Just make sure the bolt stays forward. And then you can pull the bolt back. You can pull it back all the way at this point, like that. And then when you get to this point, you have to take out the bolt pin, the charging handle, whatever you want to call it. And you can actually swap this to the, if I stop dropping it, you can actually swap this to the other side of the rifle. Then you can take the bolt carrier group out, like so. Come on. Just like that.
And on the real gun, obviously this would have a bolt in it, firing pin, all that kind of stuff. On this gun, it's just an empty shell kind of, and that's really as far as you ever really need to disassemble this gun. You can clean it well from here, and you can do everything else well from here. So that's as far as I'm going to show you. If you want to use that tool that I talked about earlier that's up in the gas block here, you can use that, and then you just take out the screws in the handguard here, and that will allow you to pull the lower section, including this black bottom rail, and the barrel forward and then down, away from the upper receiver. And that's as easy as it is. It's very easy to take apart this gun. Hopefully that helps some people out. Just put it back together in the reverse order. Put your bolt carrier group back in to this point. Put your charging handle back in. Slide the entire thing forward. Put your recoil rod back in and your guide like so. Slide the stock back up. Like that. And again, I like to pull the bolt back while putting in the lower receiver, so I put it into about here first. Then I pull the bolt back, slide that forward, release the bolt, and then you just push this pin through from the opposite side, like so. And now you're ready to rock and roll again. So, hopefully this video has helped you guys out a little bit. Subscribe to my channel if you want to see a few more airsoft videos like this. I do some other things on this channel as well, such as video gaming stuff and some other things, but there are quite a few airsoft videos and such available on this channel, so you can browse through the ones that are already here, and I will probably be posting more in the future. So thanks for watching.